Asterisk, these are not words, but silent screams of wounded hearts. Asterisk, this is the story of a young man whose life was unlike that of ordinary people and whose friendship was formed with a creature the world has always feared. Ali was a quiet, thoughtful young man who lived in a small village surrounded by dense forests and low mountains. Unlike other young men of his age, Ali was not interested in gatherings, games, or loud conversations. He preferred silence. Nature was his true companion. The sound of rustling leaves, the gentle flow of wind, and the distant calls of birds brought peace to his soul. The villagers often found Ali strange. They wondered why he spent so much time alone in the forest. But Ali believed that nature spoke a language only the patient could understand. He felt that every living creature, no matter how small or feared, had a purpose and a story of its own. Ali's father was a poor farmer who worked tirelessly in the fields to support his family. His mother was a soft-spoken and kind woman who prayed every day for her son's safety, especially because the forests near their village were known for poisonous snakes. Many people had been bitten over the years, and fear had turned into hatred. Whenever a snake appeared, it was killed immediately. One autumn afternoon, Ali walked deeper into the forest than usual. The ground was covered with dry, yellow leaves, and the air carried a strange stillness. Suddenly, Ali heard a faint sound, something between a hiss and a cry. It was not the sound of the wind. Curious and concerned, Ali followed the sound. Behind the cluster of rocks, he saw a large stone pressing down on a snake. The snake's body was injured, and it struggled weakly, unable to free itself. Fear rushed through Ali's body. Every story he had ever heard about snakes echoed in his mind. But as he looked closer, he saw pain, not aggression, in the snake's eyes. His fear slowly gave way to compassion. "This is also God's creation," Ali whispered to himself. "If I leave it here, it will surely die." With trembling hands, Ali used a long stick to carefully move the stone aside. The snake was finally free. It lifted its head slightly and looked at Ali, but did not attack. It simply stayed still, exhausted and wounded. Ali gently cleaned the wound, using water from a nearby stream and his handkerchief. He crushed a few medicinal herbs he recognized and applied them to the injury. Ali had learned about traditional healing from elders and old books, never imagining he would use that knowledge on a snake. The snake remained calm. After some time, it lowered its head slowly, as if acknowledging Ali's kindness. Ali placed the snake in a safe, hidden area and left quietly. The next day, Ali returned. The snake was still there, alive. From that day on, Ali came daily, bringing water and checking the wound. At first, he kept his distance, but gradually, trust grew between them. As days passed, the wound healed. The snake became stronger. Ali noticed a faint blue shine on its scales and named it Neil. Neil began to recognize Ali. Whenever Ali arrived, Neil would lift its head slightly, but never hiss or show anger. A silent understanding had formed between them. When villagers discovered Ali's secret, panic spread. They warned him again and again. "A snake is never a friend," they said. "One day it will bite you." Ali only smiled. "Fear lives in our hearts," he replied, "not in every creature." One night, chaos erupted in the village. A poisonous snake had crawled near a sleeping child. People rushed with sticks and torches. Ali arrived and froze. The snake was Neil. Ali stepped forward, ignoring the shouting crowd. He spoke softly, calmly. Slowly, Neil turned away, glided back, and disappeared into the forest. The villagers stood in shock. That night changed everything. From then on, Ali and Neil's friendship became known throughout the village. Ali would sit in the forest, talking to Neil about his fears, dreams, and loneliness. Neil listened in silence, but its presence brought Ali peace. One summer, disaster struck. A massive fire broke out in the forest. Strong winds spread the flames rapidly. Ali, who had gone deep into the woods, found himself trapped. Smoke filled the air. Escape seemed impossible. As panic took over, Ali saw movement ahead. Neil. The snake slithered in a clear direction. Trusting, without hesitation, Ali followed. Through narrow paths and thick smoke, Neil led him to safety beyond the reach of fire. Ali collapsed. Alive. Tears filled his eyes. That day, he understood that friendship is not limited to humans. Years later, Ali left for the city to study. On his final day, he returned to the forest. "I will come back," he said softly. Neil remained silent, but its eyes reflected recognition. When Ali returned, years later, as a learned man, he went to the same place. The bushes moved. Neil was there, the same trust, the same bond. This story teaches us that love, compassion, and kindness can break even the strongest walls of fear. Every living being deserves respect because life itself is sacred. And somewhere in that quiet forest, the friendship between a young man and a snake still lives on. My dear friend, thank you.